I'm your DJ TNT, and we're going to get some things started right now. Give you a little bit of musical motivation. Glad to be in the building. Shout out to my guy, Dwayne Roberts, for putting this thing on. And yeah, let's get it. It's a beautiful day. Great day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't be a DJ mix without some air horns. It's not a live mix, not recording live, not performing live, but it is live because I did it. And I think I did a good job. It would be nice to see y'all faces off the cameras, but it's all good. Glad to have each and every one of you in the building. I hope you got your pens, your paper, your pencil, or your phone, however you take notes to document this life-changing information, because we all know that people forget, but paper doesn't. When I think, come on, let's get it, let's get it. Welcome in the room. Next Level Success Summit. Glad to have each and every one of you in the building. I'm your DJ TNT, and we just warming up. Come on. A lovely day. Let's see what's going on in the chat, man. Y'all, if y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Y'all can hear me, type a 1 in the chat for me. Y'all hear the music, y'all hear me. Okay, somebody responding, somebody alive, somebody active. Okay, appreciate the thumbs up. Once again, I am your host, DJ TNT. I see you, Jay. What's up? Extreme Execution in the building, Game Changers in the building. We do this for real, not for play. Hey. Good morning. Yeah.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock to my tape pop. Smoking weed and
y'all listening to a mix put together by yours truly. You know, had to put my sauce on it.
Remember rapping Duke? The hard. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri, Funk Master Flux, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would.
Y'all know what it is, Next Level Success. We're trying to get to the next level. Come on. And if you don't know, absolutely, let's go. Give me that energy. The energy you get is the energy you receive. Oh, I said that a little backwards. Okay, the energy you receive is the energy you get. Okay, look, y'all figure it out. The point is, you get what you give out here. So let's get some vibes. Let's get it going. Oh, y'all hear that? Okay.
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all.
Hey, I do this for a living. I've been DJing for 19 years, okay? We grooving.
To make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend
man, we are less than 2 minutes from kicking this thing off, man.
We can make it if we try.
Gotta have a strong community, strong support when you're trying to make big change. We're here for you.
You and I, we look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow.
Like, funny thing, when I recorded this live mix, I left the imperfections in there because even though we do things well, we're not perfect. So, you know, hope y'all enjoyed it.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Come on.
Just the two of us, building them castles in the sky. Just the two, you and I.
Welcome out, Next Level Success Summit, man. Live, online. Glad to have each and every one of you in the building, okay? Almost showtime. Almost showtime.
All right, where y'all at?
Come on.
Y'all ain't never been to a party like this one, baby. TJT, you're killing it, sweetie.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Had to show them who I am.
Let's go. Hey, listen, man, if you're on the social media platforms, man, and you're watching live, man, you need to be in the house, man. You need to come get this thing live. Come on in. Let's go. You about to get me on the ones and twos, Tange.
Absolutely. I don't gatekeep.
Hey, listen, man, welcome. If you're rocking with your boy, man, I wanted to say thank you. And welcome to the Next Level Success Summit. Ooh, she got them beats playing in the background, man, and they vibing. I gotta let that ride a little bit.
Okay, it's up to you. Okay. Oh, I hit it with the switch up. Okay. I was vibing a little bit.
Hey. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Don't let me pretend like I'm DJing. Jay, I see you in the house, baby. DeAndre, what's happening, my friend? I got the speaker community in the house. The game changers are in the house. We got some guys coming in. Next level success. If you're the individual out there, maybe you might be formerly incarcerated, justice involved, maybe in recovery. Maybe you're a veteran. Maybe you just the individual say, how do I make my next move in life my best? Listen, you make your next move in your best by getting in the room.
Man, type in the chat. Where you from? I'm in Houston, H-Town, Texas, Tejas. Okay, we got Missouri in the building. Most likely, 9 times out of 10, if you're in the US, I've been to your state and DJ a comedy show or two. Okay, that's all we got. It's just Missouri and Texas in the building. Okay, it's all good.
We got Colorado in the house.
Okay, Colorado
Springs. Yeah.
There we go.
That's what's up. Where are we?
Let's have a little bit of pride. Rip, where you from?
Yeah.
People gonna know where you're from by how you talk, how you walk, how you dress. Y'all probably hear my Texas twang. We'll prepare for next time. We'll get you an assistant.
You give me an
but
assistant.
We had to get out the gate first. And it is amazing to be amongst the first of anything. It's a lot of responsibility, but I tell you, when something blows up, you're gonna be like, I was there.
You was there.
I was there when it was online. Now it's a huge conference that has a line around the building. You hear me? Like, you're gonna get VIP treatment because I'm gonna remember you. Like, oh yeah, right. I remember.
To the Next Level Success Summit, man. I'm excited about what God is doing, and I pray that you're equally excited, man. Just that simple. Real quick, in the chat, do me a favor. Just shout out your win for this week. What area in your life have you been winning? In the chat, drop that in the chat. Let me know where you winning right now.
Well, as they type that in, I can share mine. Mine is the acknowledgement of my personal biases and judgment that I pass on to people, being aware of that and checking myself, and learning to extend grace to others as well as myself. So that's been big for me, you know.
No, that's good. That's real good. And I see where we at?
We got time management. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Time management is a big one. You got to be able to manage time, man. You know, I'm winning in my life spiritually.
Come on now.
Really getting tuned in and hearing what God has to say to me, and ready, shutting up and listen. Your boy got the gift of gab.
Hey, you gotta learn. You're not the only one that knows something, huh?
Come on, you know. And sometimes you just got to be quiet, man. Clarity. I see somebody said clarity on the purpose. Somebody also shout out said waking up every day. Come on now. Yeah, that's man. Yeah. Listen, we win every morning when we able to wake up.
Right? Hey, it's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be alive.
For sure it is. It is definitely a great day to be alive as they folks coming in. 5 facets to a fabulous future, right? And many people been asking me, what's a facet or a facet? I don't know. I call it a facet, right? This is a term used in gemology, the study of precious gems, valuable stones. Yeah. A facet is a flat, polished surface, a gemstone after it has been cut, right? Lost my computer going haywire over here, guys. A facet is a flat polished surface, a gemstone after it has been cut. Think of it like a diamond in its raw state. It's just a stone. However, once cut and polished, it begins to reveal its true beauty. You know a diamond because of its authentic look, how it has a flawlessness. It holds its clarity. Some flaws we might notice about a diamond when we're looking at it is we might catch cracks in it, or we might see distorted colors. It lets us know that the diamond may have impurities. Today, guys, we're gonna use this term facet and reference how precious and valuable you are and the value you bring to the world. So many people are challenged in life and often ask, where do I start? Well, we're collaborating with 5 phenomenal speakers who will expose you to the different facets of your life so you can begin to cut away at your rough edges, your faith, your future, your friends, your family, and your fitness goals, and help you polish those facets of life so you can expose your true beauty, becoming your authentic God, becoming the authentic person that God has called you to be. Guys, welcome to the Next Level Success Summit. 5 facets to a fabulous future. You ready? Yo, you guys ready to get this thing started?
Bam, 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 bam.
I appreciate you, T.
Well, look, I didn't have my sound effects set up, but I thought I would offer that as a DJ.
Come on, I love it. So here we go, guys. Our first speaker. You see her face, right? Can y'all see her face? If you see her face in this chat, if you can see Tangi Bryant, DJ TNT, go ahead, put some flames and flyers in the chat. Let us know how excited you are. Are you prepared to hear from Tangi Bryant? Tangi.
Yeah. Yes,
is more
sir.
commonly known as the DJ TNT. She is a phenomenal touring DJ and entrepreneur. Her mission is to help criminal justice impacted individuals overcome the obstacles of life of reentry and reduce recidivism. Tangi wants to be the part of the solution, and she's developed a phenomenal coaching program and community, all designed to impact the lives of the formerly incarcerated. T, take us away.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Type of one in the chat. If you can hear me, put a thumbs up, do a shimmy or something. Let me know. I am a performer and I thrive off the energy. Appreciate that, Latifa. Oh man, it is so amazing to be in the building. Glad to be here. I am not a great orator. I am a teacher, and I look forward to hearing all these men share the information that they have with you all. But I'm gonna drop a few gems, do a little bit, not too much, but I like to get to know people being a relational individual. So first, allow me to introduce myself. Yes, my name is Tangi Bryant, better known as DJ TNT, your favorite comedian's favorite DJ and your favorite teacher's favorite DJ. If you want to know more about that, you can connect with me on social media. But other than that, there are 3 things in life that I love: music, science, and the arts. Okay, you can say music is part of the arts, but it's separate for my message. Okay. Another thing about me, I've been on probation twice in my life. One as a youngster, I was 19 years old, did 3 years probation, and second, 31, a little older, should have knew a lot better, but I failed to understand my choices affect my tomorrow and that I lack boundaries, and I had to understand the level of accountability and responsibility. So I did 6 years probation, but I've been on TV. You can catch me on A&E, 60 Days In, season 7, the most recent season on A&E, soon to be on Netflix and Hulu. So just to double back on the 3 things that I love music, had an early love for music. I was definitely one of those kids pulling the pots out of the cabinets and playing drums in the middle, of the floor. When it comes to science, man, fell in love. 5th and 6th grade, had some great science teachers. Plan to be my own science teacher. I'm studying to be a high school science teacher right now, and I will achieve that before this year is out. But science made me a very critical thinker, and just being able to evaluate situations and understand the comparison between what people would call different things in life. And lastly, I love the arts. In middle school, fell in love with literature. Now, I didn't say English. I can't write no paper. The best I can get is a C. But when it comes to imagery and poetry and expressing yourself emotionally, hey, I needed that because I had suppressed feelings growing up in a house with my mother struggling with addiction and making a decision as a child that I didn't want to bring issue or turmoil to my family, so I only did the good things. So that made me have struggled with my negative, emotions. So I had to work through that. So funny thing, I had a friend ask me, was I ever into video games? And I was at the time, all the way up until like my 2nd year in college. But then I discovered college parties. Not much of a dancer, but I always gravitated towards the DJ. And I was amazed at how the DJ was controlling the crowd with his or her song selection. So I was like, I could do that. So in 2004, I put down the video games and picked up my DJ equipment. And that leads me to my first statement of knowing the difference between traction and distraction. A distraction is something that we do that moves us away from what we really want and who we really are, as traction is an action that moves us toward what we really want out of life. So I was thankful for that, that I didn't have that distraction for too long. And here I am DJing 19 years later, touring with comedian Eddie B. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but if not, he's big on social media, and we DJ for educators. His audience is for teachers. He taught for 13 years and basically started cracking jokes and making videos about his struggles as teaching, blew up. Been touring for the last 5-6 years with him. Outside of that, you come to Houston, Texas, hit me up, local comedy shows, poetry shows. Yeah, I am the DJ. I am the premier DJ for that. And one last thing I would like to share with y'all is a poem. Y'all remember I said I love the arts, I love the movies, I love literary expression, and I have a poem that I would like to share with you all. Before I do that, as we move forward through this next level success summit, I want you to think of 3 things. Think about who you are, the good, the bad, and ugly. Think about, what do you want out of life? What does that look like? How will you feel, and who will be along with you on that journey? And lastly, who do you have to become to attain those things? Because what we chase makes us something. All right. So I'm gonna get into the poem. Here we go. The American dream. The American dream is not my dream. You see, America doesn't believe in me. Despite my articulation, my high school graduation, or my bachelor's degree in chemistry, America still doesn't believe in me. Even with my pursuit of a master's degree and eventually a PhD and my impressive work history, America still doesn't believe in me. They calls me a new slave, living in the era of the new Jim Crow days, a victim to a system that wasn't made for me. Even though I missed the grip of mass incarceration, I've still been branded by the scarlet letter of probation. The criminal justice system wants to put me in a box. Tell me what I am and am not. Label me for my past, so there are rules I must obey. Yes, I made mistakes. I made short-term emotional decisions that had long-term consequences. But my purpose is bigger than anything I've ever done in my past. And the criminal justice system leash can't hold me. I'm a beast. And little do they know they've activated my beast mode. I mean, my dream. My dream is so vivid, it scares me. God knew exactly what he wanted to do when he allowed my mother to bore me. I was not sent here to work for them. I was sent here to work for him. I'm a representation of a population that they want to condemn. America. America promotes change, but doesn't believe in change. Even some of you have been brainwashed to think the same thing. I mean, once a cheat, always a cheat, right? Once a thief, always a thief, right? but I'm gonna show you change. I'm gonna break my chains. You will not force me to walk around and carry my shame. I will not allow people who don't know me to judge me by words on a sheet. I'm not limited by what America thinks of me. The only thing that matters to me is my God, my dream, and my legacy. I mean, my dream. My dream is to change lives. One random act of kindness at a time, believing in our youth, giving them the confidence that they need to believe in themselves, giving encouragement to those who wouldn't get encouragement from anybody else. I'm the CEO of the Fight Club, fighting for a better future. What will you fight for? Better yet, what's your dream? Thank you. You got it, Dwayne. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Tangi. Y'all, come on. Come on, light it up for Tangi in the chat, man. Light it up in the chat for Tangi. Light it up. Jay, man, was that good or what, bruh?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that poem with us. Man, the thing that just hit me was traction versus distraction. When it comes to our dream, man, and those things can look so similar. Traction and distraction. And it just reminded me, if I'm not intentional with the people that I put myself around, the things that I do, the places that I go, my traction can easily turn into distraction. So thank you for sharing that.
Me, it was when she said, my purpose is bigger than my past. You know, so many people are limited in their thinking because of they see where they were or where they come from, right? And they don't feel as though they have what it takes to move them forward, man, in life. And I want to encourage you to what Tangi just said. Your purpose is bigger than your past. Are you ready for speaker number 2? Jonas Royster. He is the CEO of Royster LLC. He is an accomplished author, motivational speaker, and coach. His work centers around the hard lessons he's learned as a young man growing up on the streets of Southern California. He's received numerous accolades for his phenomenal book, Banging: The Making of a YG, including 2022 Independent Press Award for Best African-American Fiction. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my man, Jonas Royster.
Let's go. Hey, what's happening with everybody, man? Let's go. Hey, let me see the chat light up. I'm like that. I need some chat light up. At least put a 2 in the chat if you're feeling yourself today. Put a 2 in the chat if you're feeling yourself today. Let's go. Hey, look. Hey, check it out. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Before I even get into it, I got to tell you how it works, how life works. Sometimes when you on our next level of success, right? We about to get into this. This is some random stuff, y'all. I'm sitting here attempting to get on and my computer just dies. I mean, not because I didn't charge it. I mean, it wouldn't catch no internet. It says there's a virus, the whole thing. I'm telling y'all. And so now I'm sitting over here tripping. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But what I realized was number one rule is never to panic. And so I said, you know what, if I ain't got no computer with my mic, I ain't looking like my partner Jay, you know what I mean? Mic'd up, looking good. I said, you know what, though, I'm gonna hop on this phone. And see, sometimes in life, right, we got to be ready for whatever obstacle that comes. And today we're talking about that next level of success, right? The next level of success. And what does that really look like for everybody, right? Because everybody's next level of success, y'all, is different. See, today to get here to talk to y'all, to stand right here, my next level of success was do not panic and don't get to tripping. That was my next level of success, right? It could go from A to Z, it could go from A to B. But please believe, if you do not have a goal, a destination, a set point on what it is you're trying to get to, that next level for you, guess what? You're going to be running around with your head cut off, right? And that could have been me. And so what I'm saying today is, what's your next level of success? Is it not drinking? Is today you not having a drink? Is that your next level of success? Because I'm going to tell you like that, it's been 4.5 years since I had one, right? And so in a moment, that was part of my success, right? Maybe one more day, right? Maybe it's not getting locked back up when I was on parole. Maybe it's one more day free so I could get off parole. But what is your next level of success? Because success is different for everybody. So what I'm asking, right, is I want you to visualize, right? I want everybody that's on this Joker, close your eyes, right? And visualize what's the next level for you. Is it picking up the phone and calling your son or daughter because y'all ain't talk because they ain't listen to you? Is it you picking up the phone and calling your mama and you mad and you need to have that conversation because she done did something to you when you was 10 years old? And now check it out. Some of y'all, look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the close your eyes type of guy and visualize. So if you don't need to close your eyes, and don't close your eyes. But what I'm asking you to do is to imagine. You have to have imagination. You have to have that childlike imagination in order to get to this next level of success that you're thinking about. You're going to have to imagine what that looks like because you haven't gotten there. So you're going to have that faith within you to understand what it is, what that next level is going to be, right? And so as you imagine, the next thing is, what is that obstacle? Because every level, right, even getting on the next rung of a ladder, there's still another one. What is that obstacle? What is the obstacle that is stopping you from getting to that next level of success? Like I said, for me, it was some drink. That was part of it. Hustling in the streets. For me, that was a part of getting to my next level of success. Being a gang member and being a gang banger, that was part of an obstacle that was at my next level of success. Right? But what is your next level? What's the obstacle? Because just like in Waze, right? Sometimes we want to get to the mall and the mall is only 20 minutes away. We type it in Waze, right? And boom, it's raining, there's a car accident and the obstacle come up on Waze. What do you typically do? Ask yourself that. Do you say, I'm not going to go get that shirt, I'll go tomorrow? See, because these obstacles happen in life. And if you're so quick to make a U-turn and sit your butt back on your pockets and on your couch so you can watch TV, you're probably doing that in your real life for your bigger goals. Right? So what is the obstacle? What's the obstacle that's stopping you from that next level of success? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Even though I told you all those things for me was an obstacle, I'm gonna tell you what the biggest obstacle was. That was my loyalty to my friends, my loyalty to my homies, right? That was my biggest obstacle, right? And for those like Dwayne, I gave it, right? I grew up in Southern California. I'm from Dago, right? And if y'all don't know what Dago is, that's San Diego. So the tourist stuff, hey, San Diego, hey, Shamu, Legoland, cool. But I'm gonna tell you, when you get down to that other part, right? There's always another section within the section, right? And I'm from Dago, D-A-Y-G-O. Some might take the Y out and they just say D-A-G-O, let's go, Dago, right? However, though, as I'm growing up in Dago, look, I'm biracial. For those that don't know, mom is white, dad is black, right? Dad did 20 years in the military. Mom did 4 in the Marines. They met in Okinawa in Japan, right? They liked each other. My dad was a dentist. He looked at my mama's teeth. My mom said, oh, his smile is good. I'm golden. I got to get with this man. Boom, they moved back to San Diego. Boom, had your boy. I'm on planet Earth, chilling in San Diego, right? However, though, for the first 9 years of my life, right, I didn't see that. I didn't see the culture shift, right? I didn't see black or white. I just saw my parents, y'all. I just saw my parents and they loved me and I loved them. There was no, right? There was no big, oh, black, no white. No, that was just my mom and my daddy. And I remember like, I was like 9 years old. I'm in the 3rd grade and they're doing some type of like census, right? And the teacher's like, hey guys, what I need for you guys to do, I'm gonna give you this survey. What I want you to do is fill out as many questions as you can. Right? And if you can't fill them out, if you can't figure the rest out, take it home to your parents, have your parents look at it, have them fill out the rest, have them sign it and bring it back to class. So I'm like, cool. As I'm in class, I'm looking, I get 1, 2, 3, I get to number 4 and I get stumped. So I'm like, okay, don't even trip. I'll put it in my backpack. I said, when I get home, I'm gonna talk to moms and dad. I get home, I wait till mom and dad get home. They ask me about my dad. I say, well, my day went good, but I have this survey and I don't know how to fill out this question. Right? I looked at my dad looked at my mom looked at my dad. I said, what's the question? I said, it says right here, it says, what ethnicity are you? Right? The top one said Caucasian/white. The second one said African-American/black. The third one said Hispanic/Latino. Fourth one said not Latino/not Hispanic. And the fourth one said other with a line. I looked at my mom looked at my dad looked at my mom looked at my dad again. My dad shook his head. My mom said, okay. And I said, so what's going on? She said, well, son, you know your dad's in the military, and in the military, you are what your dad is. So go ahead and mark that box on African-American. Now, mind you, to a lot of people, that don't mean much, but to me, it meant everything, because in that moment, something hit. And I was like, damn, my mom's ashamed of me. Now, mind you, my mom didn't tell me this, but this is something that I internalized. I don't know about y'all, but I make up stories in my head if I don't get an answer. Right. And so I started to make this whole story up in my head, like, you know what, I'm not even worthy. Why? Because let me backtrack. My mom and dad, I never met their family. If my dad's sister walked by me right now, and if she was a Jehovah's Witness and knocked on my door and started to tell me something, guess what? I wouldn't even know who she was. She would just be another person coming to the door. My dad's sister, my dad's brother, my dad's other brother, my grandma, my dad's dad, I didn't know none of them. Right. I didn't know my mom's side too much either. I might have seen them a couple of times, but I didn't see much of them. And so when she tells me this, y'all, I'm like, damn, for the next so many times for the rest of my life, I'm like, they ashamed of me, right? They don't want me as a family. And so from that day forward, I was seeking validation. I don't know about y'all, though, but I was seeking validation. I was seeking acceptance. I didn't know it. Couldn't articulate it at 9 years old, but by the age of 10, as I'm sitting there and we moved to a new neighborhood and I got some new homies, I got some new friends, right? And my friends accepted me as a family. My friends showed me their cousins. I got to meet their relatives. I got to meet their aunties. I got to meet their uncles. Their mom even called me their second son. I vowed to myself there I'll do whatever it took to never to lose this family again. Because I remember watching the Huxtables. I remember watching the Cosby Show, y'all. I wanted that love. I remember watching Urkel and Granny was over there. You know what I'm saying? I remember I wanted that. I was seeking that. So when I was able to get it from my outside family, I said, I'm going to be loyal to this. I'm going to be loyal to this feeling. I'm going to be loyal so much that I'm never going to let it leave me in my life again. Right. And so as we started to grow up, if my friends needed something, I gave it to them. I don't know about y'all. I would take my shirt off my back to give it to my homeboy. Right. If they needed some food and they didn't have it at the house, I'm sneaking food out my house so I could give it to my homies and vice versa. If they were to get in a fight at school, I'm getting in the fight at school. If I'm getting in a fight at school, they finna come help me as well. You know what I mean? It did not matter. You know what I mean? It was either jump it or dump it. Okay? Was the terms that we use. You're not gonna just fight one by himself. Right? And I vowed to myself, y'all, like, I'm not gonna let this go because I need a family. And so I remember I'm about 23 years old. I'm sitting in my girlfriend's house. I'm chilling. I don't know about y'all, but this girl, she used to be my girlfriend when I was like 6th grade. And now I'm a little older. We done got back together. So I'm doing everything in my power, right? Just to sit there and cuddle up with baby, right? And do anything I can so me and her could be cool and I could get back in her good graces. Now, mind you, she got a couple other homegirls in the house and everything golden. I'm sitting on the couch, arm wrapped around. We watching BET. Who's it? Tigger. If y'all know about Tigger, type of one in the chat, right? You know what I'm saying? Who knows about Big Tigger? I might be showing my age a little bit, but Big Tigger on doing his thing, right? And as I'm sitting there cupcaking, right? My partner's in the other seat next to me. I hear his phone ring, right? And now, mind you, I'm not trying to listen too much, but his voice, the inflection of his voice starts to change. And I hear him say, nah, man, you got to be kidding. And I'm like, I'm ear hustling a little bit, you know, you lean over, but I'm like, nah. He's like, nah, man, for real? And he's like, hey, Cole, turn it to the news. And see, that's what they used to call me back then. My name was So Cold, S-O space K-O-L-D. Why? Because I knew the things that I had to do in order to do the things to keep my family, my friends intact, that I had to have a cold heart. I had to have cold emotion, because if I had any emotion or anything that I was doing, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I was doing to keep my family intact. Right? And so he's like, Cole, turn to channel 10, turn it to the news. So as I sit there, I grab the remote, I turn it to the TV, I point it at the TV. This is when you got to put the 1 and the 0, right? And I push enter. And as the TV starts to pan, I see the mall, right? And then it gets to the center of the screen, and then I see the white sheet. And you can see the contours of a body underneath the white sheet, and they start to zoom in. The sheet wasn't long enough. And then you could see like the bottom of the shoes, and they were like some gummy soles with little ridges in them with like a 3/4 inch heel. I knew that shoe because I had the same shoe. Those were some Hush Puppies that me and my homeboys used to wear back in the day, and they had a little HP buckle on them, right? And I know whose shoes those was because he wore them all the time. That was my best friend, Maximilian. And right there, it hit me. It said, how much loyalty do I have to my friends? I've been training myself for this. So what ended up happening a year later, I find myself along with 10 other homies sitting in front of a judge, and the judge is saying, hey, Mr. Royster. I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, you're under arrest and you're in here facing conspiracy to commit murder charges. He said, you're facing 25 years of life, son. Now, mind you, this is back in the day. This is early 2000s. So all that prison reform, all that good shit that they doing right now, they didn't have none of that shit back then. So 25 years meant a million motherfucking years. Excuse my language, but that's what it was when I heard it, right? 7 to life, 10 to life, 15 to life, 25 to life in California, y'all. That was a life sentence. You ain't never coming home. Right? And so as I sat there, I'm like, damn. But I told myself I would do whatever it took behind my loyalty to my friends and my family that I had to do. So I sat there and fought this case for a year. All of my friends did. It was 11 of us in total. 2 of them was females. No one told. However, through this whole year, they're coming at me, hey, Mr. Royster, take this deal, take that deal. I'm like, nah, I would go to the court. I would talk to the homies. I'm saying, what we finna do? They're like, we finna go to the box. If we get all day, we get all day. Mind you, I'm like, I just left the penitentiary. I'm like, I don't want to see this. Boom. Next thing you know, a week before trial, they come with a deal. I take the deal. Why do I take the deal? Because I knew I was doing dirt bad in the street. So now that I'm going to take this little bit of time, right? 5 years, I'm like, I'm going to do this because I'm not going to get away. If I take this to the box. My other friend said, you know what? Nah, I ain't doing it. So 10 of us took a deal. 1 of us did it. He fought it for another year. He ended up getting 115 years of life. Right? And as I'm sitting in the cell and I finally get to Donovan prison and I'm sitting there and my cellie leaves, right? And he ends up going to medical and I'm sitting there by myself. That's kind of when it starts to hit me. I ain't got no one else to blame. My loyalty has landed me here, right? No longer can I point the finger at the homies. No longer can I point the finger at my mama and my daddy. No longer can I point the finger at the police. I made these decisions to get to where I'm at. And what I didn't know then, but I damn sure know now, is betraying yourself for someone else isn't loyalty. That's stupidity. And this whole time in my life, I was playing stupid just so I could find me some love, which was therefore hindering me to my next level of success in life. See, don't allow your loyalty to be your slavery. Right? We have to be loyal to ourselves first, y'all. Loyalty to ourselves is going to get us to that next level of success. Loyalty to ourselves is going to be able to watch and understand when these obstacles come, we're not going to be friend to them. We're going to be loyal and friend to ourselves first. Right? Because you might be like, well, my friendships is good, Jonas. Well, guess what? Let me tell you something. If you drinking every day, if you drugging every day, if you hanging with the homies, or you gambling every day, or you overeating every day, that's your friend. Because your friends are the people that the things that you want to do all the time. You want to be around them. So that's your friendship. So check what your loyalty to your friendship is and understand that no longer in life do you have to put other people's loyalty on the front burner of your life. No longer do you have to do that. You have to see these obstacles, see what's coming, see what's in front of your face. Because in order to get to that next level of success, you have to put your loyalty to yourself first. And when you're loyal to yourself first, you're going to be able to enslave yourself to your freedom. See, it's not about not being loyal. It's about who you're loyal to. And in order for us to get to that place that I had you imagine earlier, you're going to have to be loyal to yourself before anybody else. Before your mama, before your daddy, before your parole officer, before that bottle, before that gambling, before that basketball game, maybe even before the pastor. Because you got some work to do. And we all got some work to do to get to that next level of success. So as I end this, I just want you to know this. It's okay not to be okay, but it's never okay to stay that way. So watch and see where your loyalty is, and then you're going to be able to get to that next level of success, y'all.
In the chat, drop in the chat your biggest takeaway from Jonas's message today. D, man, what did you take away?
Man, I took away, man, the resilience and the ability to turn your life around. It's never too late to turn your life around and not panic. That's the big takeaway. You still have time to get it right. And time is now. And Brother Jonas, you did it, man. I'm proud of you, man. That's very inspiring. So
who are you loyal to And sometimes, man, we always try to put other people before ourselves. How many of you out there, you want to accomplish some things in life, you want to do some things in life, but you're hindered because you think that you have to do something that you really don't want to do for somebody else. And we got to get into this place where we begin to check ourselves and ask ourselves the hard questions. What is it that I want to accomplish? Is this aligning with where I'm going? Because if it doesn't align with who you are and where you're going in life, then you know what? You might have to uncheck that box on loyalty and be loyal to what you've been called to. Ready for speaker number 3? Malik Lee. We talking true vision. Malik is a coach, an entrepreneur, retention specialist, a powerful speaker. Trials and tribulations had confronted him with Hollywood headlines that attempted to test his faith, and eventually the truth set him free.
You have to seize every moment of your time right now. Are you ready to do the necessary things for you to be successful? So right now, you'll never get this again. You gotta lock in right now and get it. So you can say, okay, this moment in time, I'm gonna be successful. You got a chance to focus and create your future. I'm gonna be everything that I'm supposed to be because I'm a guardian. What am I doing right now? Am I really living up to the expectations of where I am in life? The sacrifice is not you willing to give up something in order to get something. That's what you think. So if I sacrifice my time, I'm going to get this in return, right? That's not real. That's not real sacrifice. True sacrifice is when you give up something in order to get something. Are you willing to really pay that sacrifice? I do.
People of the state of California versus McKinley Lee. Los Angeles Superior Court case number VA086649. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, McKinley Lee, not guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree in violation of Penal Code Section 187.
He knew we was not guilty. He knew that. He knew McKinley Lee acted in self-defense. McKinley Lee has never, ever, ever, ever been involved with gangs.
What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get?
You know, I look at it like this. If Malik would have waited another second, I might not be here doing an interview with you right now.
My past doesn't define me. It doesn't dictate my future. My future is determined by the walk I'm walking right now. We here now. How's everybody doing? Good. First of all, I just want to say, I mean, it's an honor to be here, and I don't even know where to start, because I got a chance to hear my brother Jonas speak right now, and it put me in a place right now of now, because in order to understand where you are in your life, you have to understand the sacrifices and things that you have to go to. Everybody's talking about loyalty. Everybody's talking about these things, and what he said today is loyalty can be slavery. Well, for 25 years, I was loyal to that. I was loyal to the game, because you just saw the clip where you saw this person sacrifice his life for somebody else, but it wasn't even about that, right? What I did, I thought I was being loyal to the game. Yeah, I was a professional bodyguard, but I loved, and that sacrifice that I thought I was doing was for that reason. See, because sometimes in life, you don't understand really where you are, because you think that it's a love, you think that it's something else, but you really don't understand the commitment that you're making. And the hardest thing and the most expensive thing in the world to do is to say yes. So when you out there and you committed to that, and you say yes to that, you're looking for that friendship, you're looking for that commitment, you're dedicated to that. So when you go through those things, what you're really doing is you're really sacrificing. Really? And then when you're sacrificing, you're really committed to that thing, right? But a lot of us, through the sacrifice and through the commitment, God protects us. And so when he protects us, it's called an anointing, right? And so once you go through that anointing, then you have to go through resurrection, you have to go through restoration, and then you become restored. Then after you become restored, then you get ready to step into your service. So all of those things that you go through really are scars. Because you go through a sacrifice, you're really committed, and then after the commitment, you're anointed, but then you're restored in order to step into your service. So the most important thing is to understand where that service is and what that service is. It has to be rooted in faith. Nothing else. See, because for me, I'm not talking about anybody else, but for me and what I had to go through. Now, unfortunately, there was a life that was taken, right? But you have to understand the circumstances and the situation. I was a professional bodyguard. I wasn't just somebody that was hired off the street. Now, when that situation happened, you may not know, but when that situation happened, when we turned ourselves in, they said that I was too detailed and too articulate that I must be lying. I'm going to say it again. They said that I was too detailed and too articulate that I must be lying. You see, we didn't get arrested. We turned ourselves in because unfortunately he reached. And when he reached, I fired in return because my job was to protect my client that I loved, and that love was for sacrifice. Not to get something, but to give something. We don't understand really what sacrifice is because we think that if we give up something in order to get something, that's sacrifice, but that's not true sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you're willing to give up something in order to give something. So at that particular time, I was willing to give up my life because that was my job to protect my client. So when that situation happened, that's what we had to go through. But I was too detailed and too articulate, so to them, I was lying, right? But what you didn't know is that at the same time, that particular time, those witnesses that were there took the gun. So there was no gun when the police got there, right? And so everything that I said, it looked like it was a lie. But later on at the grand jury indictment, which happened, they told the truth. But my thing is, why did they still indict me? If they knew the truth, why did they still indict me? Well, we know it's for money for other reasons. So stand up, McKinley Lee. You're being charged for first-degree murder. No bail. So I had to sit in solitary confinement almost 2.5 years with no bail. But I knew that the truth would set me free. So no matter what, I had to stand rooted and grounded on that, no matter what, because the truth eventually set me free. So we all know what happened in the case. So through 3.5 years later, whatever, after the case was over, they found out that everything was true and you were found not guilty. But that wasn't the case. I had to go through that. That was my testimony. That was my wilderness. But it had nothing to do with me. It was for you. It was for those that I had to help and those people that I had to come in contact with. Because see, I'm a man of faith. And the word says that greater love hath no man than this, than to lay down his life for a friend. Right? And so we all are bodyguards. Everybody protects. Everybody loves. So everything that you do in your life has to be rooted on something that you believe in, and that's faith. But what is faith? Right? Faith is what? It's those things that aren't seen. It's the evidence of that. Faith is really one word. It's action. Faith is action. That's it. Whatever you believe in, you put action to your works. So whatever you believe in, but what do you believe in? Is it true? Is it honest? Is it pure? Those things you have to really understand and make sure that it's cognitive, that you can see it and you can visualize it. There's 5 things that I teach, right? Five principles that can help you. Attitude, attack, aggression, alignment, and assignment. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 things really quick, those first 3. I'm going to talk about attitude, which is simply a mindset, right? I'm going to talk about aggression, which is a pursuit, okay? And then I'm going to talk about your alignment, your direction, okay? Your direction in life will tell you exactly where you go. It will point you in the direction of where you're going. And your attitude is just simply a mindset, right? Because the Bible says, this mind that be in me, we want the mind of Christ Jesus, right? So you have to understand that the mind that you go through and the mind that you have right now has to be renewed. You have to have a renewing of the mind in order to focus on really truly what you want to do. And then you have to be willing to attack that thing. And attack is just a pursuit. It's simply a pursuit. And the aggression is just the desire of what it is that you want to do. So if you have an attitude and you're willing to attack and you have an aggression, then you can be lined up to do your job. And that's your assignment. And that's the most important thing in life. Nothing else matters. Right? And so you ask yourself, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I put myself in a position to be successful and to do these things? Well, number one, you got to be honest with yourself. Honesty. You got to look at yourself and look at your life and see exactly where I am. Jonas was talking about he loved the fact that he had a family, so he was honest with himself. He was saying that I was willing to do whatever is necessary to protect this, because that's all that he knew. So he was honest to that because that's the love that he knew at that particular time. So he was willing to sacrifice whatever was necessary for him and his family to be successful. And his family was that street life. His family was those ones around him that gave him the love. And he was honest with that, right? And then number two, you got to be open to change, open to suggestion, open to criticism, open to those things that you need in order for you to do the things necessary for you to be successful. Game, people talking to you, parents, loved ones, homies, whoever. If somebody is pouring into you, you have to be open to receive the coaching, receive the teaching. And the W, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to do the things necessary for you to be successful. Those things, how? H-O-W. Now, how does that apply to my faith? Everything that you go through in life is trials and tribulations. Those things set you up for the success or the failure, whichever direction that you are going. Because the very reason that you are here today and you're here in life is because God has allowed you to go through something. Now, the things that you have gone through are not for you. They're for you to teach and to pour into somebody else. That's what your life is for. That's why you go through the ups and downs and those things are around you. There are valleys and peaks and trials and tribulations. It's not for you. You've made it through it. You've conquered it. It's for somebody else. How can I pour into this person so they don't have to go through the things that I went through in my life? That's what your purpose is. So if you understand that your faith is rooted strictly on what you believe in, strictly on that, whatever you put your energy into and you really believe that you can do it, you can do it. There's nothing that's stopping you. Now you have to make sure, once again, that those things that you're doing are rooted in the right way, that you can help and inspire somebody, right? I was coaching, and I remember one of these players that came up to me, and he was talking about a video that I did a long time ago. And in that video, he was saying, Coach, I remember a lot of things that you had said to me, but first of all, I'm about to graduate from from college. And I said, that's good. He said, but you said that once I graduate from college, you want me to help somebody. I said, yeah, that's the whole purpose. You have to help. That's why you're going to college. You're going to get your degree and you're going to come back and help. He said, that's true. But you also said that the most important thing for me to do is after I help somebody, I have to use that to inspire them, to keep them going. I said, true. But you really know, when I really want to do, Coach, I said, what? He said, I want to teach them. I said, what? He said, yeah, I want to teach somebody. And my faith is that I know that I can help somebody, Coach, and I know that I'm going to inspire people, and I know that I'm going to teach people. And then it dawned on me what he said. And I said, H-I-T, help, inspire, and teach. H-I-T, hit. Our only purpose in life is to hit people. Now listen to me. Our only purpose in life is to hit people. You see, but nobody likes contact. Nobody likes contact, right? Because in order for me to hit you, I got to get close enough to hit you. Because when I hit you, I make the impact. So make sure that no matter what you do, that your faith is rooted and strong enough so that when you come into contact with somebody, that you help them, that you inspire them, and that you teach them. that you hit them every single day of your life. That is where your faith should be. Your faith should be in hitting your family. Your faith should be hitting your finances. Your faith should be hitting your fitness. Your faith should be hitting your family. Your faith should be hitting everything that you come in contact with so you can make the change. So the last thing I'm leaving you with, no matter what you do, understand that faith is simply one word, is putting action to whatever it is that you believe in, that you know will affect people. You believe in that and that you hit them. You help them, you inspire them, and then you teach them. Thank you.
Ooh, come on, guys.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you, Coach Lee. That was amazing, man. What's going on, Johnny? What's your takeaways, man?
Man, I got a whole paper. I'm over here taking notes, Coach. Hey, Malik, I'm over here taking notes. I mean, from help them, right? Help them, inspire them, teach them, hit them, right? You got to get close to make that impact, right? That hit me. And then even from the top, the most expensive thing to do is say yes. So who you saying yes to, right? And then sacrifice is willing to give us something to give something, right? And that right there hit home, man. I got goosebumps right now thinking.
Absolutely, man. That was amazing. Well, you took away a couple of mine. But I love when we can put new meaning to things that we're familiar with. So that hit piece is real good to share with your friends. Like, man, I'm about to hit you with something. It's like, oh, no, it's something else. Okay, I'm gonna help you, inspire you, and teach you. But definitely gonna use that. And then that rooted in faith, man. That rooted in faith is so big for me because I remember when I was deep down in my mist and my stress and feeling inadequate, but then got picked up. God was there for me as he always have been. And it was just like, for those people who don't believe in God, I would say like, well, maybe you just haven't been down low enough to where when you got up, you knew it wasn't you. Like me coming out and being on this side and being creating fell into phenomenon, ain't nothing but God. Because I would have gave up a long time ago.
Here we go. If y'all ready for the speaker number 4, I believe it is, man. Speaker number 4 is your boy. We're talking Metavision, Colorado, man. If you don't know, man, I am the executive director of Metavision, Colorado. I am a practitioner of leadership, a leadership expert, an empowerment coach, and a transformational speaker. It is my mission to help empower 1 million justice-involved men and, of course, women overcome obstacles, limiting beliefs, so they can thrive and master becoming the better version of themselves. Speaking is a passion, but the truth be told, I'm a teacher, guys. I love challenging, motivating audience with real life stories and timeless principles to help them support by taking actionable steps towards their goals, dreams, and vision. I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to share and speak into your life today. Man, it's my pleasure, my honor, and my passion to be here. And honestly, I'll be honest, all I want to be able to do today is to inspire you to believe. Did y'all get that? I just want to inspire you to believe. Now, as I prepared for this phenomenal opportunity, I got to admit, all I can think about was my man, Jonas. Every morning at 5 a.m., guys, you can find my man shooting his mental fitness videos of the day. He'll be running with his headphones on, camera in his face, and he's inspiring you. He's sharing inspirational videos. You got to love it. And the truth of the matter is, if I could tell you anything, if you haven't seen one of Jonas's videos, go over to the social media platform and follow Jonas. But don't just follow Jonas, man. Go get connected. Find these speakers who really do this for a living. This is their life. This is a lifestyle for them. They are always sharing and inspiring other people to their greatness. Hey guys, we're talking fitness. Now, let me be real clear here. There's nothing wrong with fitness. Nothing wrong with working out. And developing a fitness routine in life is essential. So think about it. What are some of the benefits that you find from fitness? Well, I believe that we get to feeling better about ourselves when we work out. We condition ourselves physically. So being a speaker, being in a physical condition, I know why Jonas run, because it's tough to be on that stage and huffing and puffing. You need to be in condition to speak. and having fitness in our life and working out, we are more healthier. It can increase our strengths where we may be weak, but more importantly, it adds balance to life, right? Anybody agree with me on that? If you agree with me on that, talk to me in the chat. Let me know if any of those resonate with you. Now, while I just shared a few benefits you, the truth is I have a question. How would you rate your personal fitness from 1 to 5? Would you, 1 being the least, 5 being the greatest? What is your fitness, personal fitness measurement? Anybody? Somebody drop it. Somebody say 4.2. Okay, 2.5. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. Your boy a 1, maybe even a 0, and I didn't even put a 0 on there. I served over 20 years on the military, man, and I promise you, when I came off of active duty, the last thing I wanted to do was run or do another push-up. I'm just going to be 100 with you. But I do believe that fitness is important, right? So for you fitness buffs out, I see a 9 in the chat. For you fitness buffs, what would you recommend for your boy to do? What give me something simple that I can start out with? I'm looking in the chat for some motivation. Somebody talk to me. Somebody said diet, walk, start walking. I love it. No, you're right. You know what? And I'm going to do that. I'm going to start walking. Yep. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take my beloved with me. I'm going to take my wife with me. We're going to go walking. Ready? So now listen, many of us, when we consider fitness, we immediately think of working out, right? Or do you think of something else? But today, guys, we're not talking fitness in the terms of losing weight. We're not talking fitness in the terms of nutrition. We're not talking fitness in the terms of lifting weights. While each category is important and adds value to one's life, and in some cases could be the very next step or key to next level success, today that's not my focus. On January 4th, 2023, I was sitting at my desk and the phone rings. I answer the phone. Hello? The next thing I hear, Darius is gone. What? What are you talking about, bruh? Darius is dead. It felt like a sledgehammer had beat me across my chest. My heart sunk to the pit of my stomach, and I fell into a ball and cried. The pain that gushed from my voice as I yelled and screamed. My family ran in and said, "What's going on?" And I couldn't muster up the words to say that Darius is dead by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I want to speak to you individuals out there who are challenged by what you believe. Mental health is truly important. The suicide rate for men is 3.5 times higher than that for women. Men are 3 times likely to become alcohol and drug dependent. Statistics say that 21% of adults experience at least one mental illness episode. And if I had to sum that up in numbers, that's roughly 50 million people have a mental illness issue. Astonishingly, 55% of adults with mental illness haven't even been treated. Now, I got to admit, I'm not no mental health expert, and neither am I a clinical psychologist or treatment advisor. However, I will make this recommendation. If you are an individual, if you know a person who may be challenged or struggling or experiencing mental illness, listen, get them or begin to seek professional help. That's right. Be willing and open to share what you're experiencing. Tell people what's going on in your life. Get removed from the stigmas of mental health. No, you're not crazy. No, you can't do it alone. And yes, you do need help. Darius was an amazing dude. He was the kind of guy who would walk an elderly woman across the street. He was a leader amongst his peers. He was passionate about music, and he was a phenomenal DJ. Matter of fact, he was going to DJ the very first Next Level Success Summit we had just last year. He was a rapper, a music producer, and he left a lasting impression on everyone he connected with. People simply loved Darius. Many would say he had his big audacious smile would electrify and light up a room from wall to wall. Here are a few choices, expressions that people had to say about Darius. They said Darius was determined to win. They said Darius was authentically himself. They said Darius was respectful to others. They said Darius was intellectual, always studying and learning. They said Darius was the kind of guy who would unify any group of people together to get to a common goal. They said Darius was a guy of service, selfless service, always giving. Now, while they thought highly of Darius, Darius was challenged by what he believed about himself. I want to take a minute and I want to pause real quick. And I want to recognize the Darius Roberts Foundation behind the smiles. They're gifting two individuals between the ages 18 to 33, 3 free sessions with a mental health coach or professional. I encourage you, if you're an individual or you know an individual that's challenged with mental health issues, please go seek help today. I want to shout out Christy and Alexis Roberts, let you know that my love and my heart is with you, and we support your mission and Darius's foundation behind the smiles. What you believe can simply unlock opportunities or create limitations. And if they create limitations, oftentimes we feel stuck, we feel challenged, we lack direction. I got a good friend, Aaron Victors, where he says this the best. He said, your personal view of your world is directly connected to what you believe. Real quick, I want to talk to some people today and ask, what will you believe? There's something interesting about this word believe, if you ask me. And I often challenge people to point it out. And here is what I find interesting about the word believe. Dead smack in the middle of the word believe is the word lie. And most people choose to believe the lie. You'll never accomplish that. You don't have what it takes to do it. You can't start that business. You're too old to go back to school. No, I'll just wait till my kids finish high school and then I'll do this. You know what? I'll just wait for the right time and then I'll do that. In some cases, we just want it to fall in our lap and we never get to this place of executing the things that's most important to us. I want to encourage you to get removed from believing the lie and get hold of and begin to believe in what God has to say about you to you. Yep, you're wonderfully and fearfully made. You're the head and not the tail. I know the plans that I have for you to succeed and prosper you. Yeah, I got it. And I understand this. We worry about what people have to say. Yep. In some cases, we believe that other people are better than we are. And so that's a limiting belief and lie. In some cases, when it comes to pacing our environment, we just think that, shucks, I'll never be happy because I got too many problems dealing with my probation. I can't overcome this addiction. This is just too large of an issue in my life. This obstacle is too big. So why change? In other cases, when it comes to following policies and procedures, we overthink, we get analytical, And we start looking for more resources. And what we realize is that we just don't have enough money to make the change in our life. What we begin to realize when we searching for resources, that we simply don't have the time to chase after our dreams. In other cases, man, when we face with our problems, man, we just believe that everybody else catch all the breaks. I'm just not that lucky. No, there's no way. And even if I could, I probably would lose. Listen, it's something interesting about God, and I love this. And that is, God will allow you to believe at the level you choose to believe. Just as simple. If you don't believe that you can accomplish it, guess what? You won't. See, in 2014, I found myself on my back porch, challenged by what I believed. Feeling incomplete, lacking direction. I was facing a 3-year felony conviction. And if I can be honest, I just wanted to make my next move in life my best move in life. The problem was I had believed the lie for too long. I didn't know how to make my next move happen. There I was, chugging at America's finest. I'm talking about Bud Light. Of course, I was toking on Colorado's top shelf. I'm talking about cannabis. Yep. At the same time, I was smoking your boy's all-time favorite cigar, Black and Mild, preferably a wood tip, sweet. You know, listening to the tunes of Otis Redding. You know, that old school joint kind of goes something like this. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting till the evening comes, watching the ships roll in. Then I watch them roll away again. Oh, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tides roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. That's where I found myself, wasting my life away, limited in my mental fitness, limited in what I believed about myself. Did you know that the brain on average has 36,000 thoughts a day? And 85% of your thoughts are negative, whereas 95% of your thoughts are repetitive. So what does that mean? I think you get it. All day long, you got stinking thinking. My friend, we must get to this place where we make a mental fitness shift in our thinking. Change how you think. Get a hold of what God has to say about you to you. Get to this place where you will believe in yourself, choose faith over fear, and believe. See, the problem with many of us, we choose fear. We choose to have a conversation with fear. We have what I call the Eve complex and experience. What I'm talking about is we are talking with the enemy versus speaking with the creator. We never dial into what God has called us to be. We never get hold of this place of faith. We never get to this place where we trust that we can be more, do more, and have more in life. Instead, we settle for the lie. Today, guys, I need you to start exercising and performing a mental fitness push-up. That's right. I need you to exercise and perform a mental fitness push-up so you can press the fear out of your life. I need you to get to a place where you exercise and perform a mental fitness crunch. Oh, come on, I feel that right now. So you can crunch away the doubt. I need you to get to this place where you start having exercising and performing a mental fitness sprint or run, so you can make one or two choices. Either you're going to run through the obstacles or you're going to run around them. Listen, you got to get to this place where you exercise and perform a mental fitness sit-up, so you can remove your personal biases. You're going to have to get to this place where you exercise and perform a mental fitness diet. Oh, come on, somebody, because I need you to eat less and stop chewing on all the BS around you. What others have to say to you, it's all a lie. Get hold of what God has to say about you to you. I want to encourage you to get to this place where you exercise and perform a mental fitness weightlifting regimen, so you can increase your mental capacity, so you can increase your mental fortitude, so you can increase your personal mission, so you can increase your personal value systems, so you can tap into what God calls your God-given purpose. I want to close this thing out for you. And I want to invite you to the Next Level Success Fitness Gym. The good thing is it's open right now. And if you got a pen and pad, listen, you want to get these tips to 6 ways to increase your mental fitness and stay positive and begin to believe in what God has to say about you to you. Y'all ready? In the chat, let me know if you're ready. Let me know if you're ready. Number 1, I need you to take time and read your word and talk with God. The only way you're going to get connected to what God has to say about you is if you're spending some time with him. Number 2, I need you to get to this place where you remove the negative thoughts that enter your head by flipping the channel of your thinking and start meditating on those things that are good. Start thinking on those things that are positive. Start affirming yourself in God's word. Number 3, I need you to go ahead, start an exercise regimen, start exercising regularly. Yep. In your everyday living. So what I mean by that is it's time to put on your walking shoes, D. It's time to tighten up your hiking boots and go climb a mountain. For you that like to wear those leggings, go ahead, walk into a yoga studio. And for you who need to beef up, buff them muscles up, find you a gym and start working out. You know, when you start working out, it relieves the stress. It helps you remove anxiety. It uplifts your spirits. Listen, number 4, I need you to get to this place where you're focused on what makes you happy. Now, let me be very clear about this. What's the thing that you would do even if you didn't get paid to do it? I'm talking about tapping into your purpose. Number 5, I need you to start practicing giving positive feedback to others. Start encouraging others about what they're doing. Just give somebody a hug, a high five, tell them, hey, you're doing phenomenal today. Encourage others and inspire others regularly. And lastly, whatever you do, and if you don't take anything else away from what I have to say today, I need you to simply believe in yourself. Choose faith versus fear and believe. In the words of the #1 motivational speaker, Eric Thomas, affirm yourself daily by saying, I can, I will, I must believe. I can, I will, I must believe. Go ahead, write it in the chat. I can, I will, I must. And whatever that must is, I need you to believe that you can accomplish it. It's your boy D-Rob. As you always hear me say, your next level for success is in your hands. God bless.
Hey, did you get the mental fitness workout, right? Believe in yourself. Don't believe in a lie, right? Read the word. Excellent, excellent, excellent preparation, everything. But
yeah, I choose faith over fear, right?
Hey,
That's what we got to do.
The dock of the bay.
Hey.
Wasting time. So many of us waste time, right? Because we wasting time and we're not believing, right? And we're looking at the lie. So yeah, definitely. Great job, D. Yeah.
Yeah, great job, D. I mean, like you said, choose faith over fear and believe, right? And until we believe and stop believing the lies, we ain't gonna get no further than our nose.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's all, that hit home because I don't wasted so much time. So appreciate you, D. That was right on.
If you're ready for our next speaker, guys. If you're ready for our next speaker, Dwayne Meeks is coming to speak to you today from Urban Colors. Dwayne is the founder of Urban Colors, and empowering men to lead, engage, and thrive for prosperity of their families while driving healthy communities and family engagement. Dwayne's journey is an author and a speaker, and his expertise as a coach and mentor has provided the tools and guidance necessary to help people rewrite their stories and break mediocrity. Ladies and gentlemen, put your virtual hands together for my man, Dwayne Meeks.
Well, let me give you a shout out, man, for creating this platform for us and allowing us to share our stories, man. And we riding with you, brother. So thank you for creating that. Also, shout out to my mom, celebrating her 86th birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom. If it wasn't for you, I would not be where I am at today. So this is for you, and I give God the glory for having you in my life and guiding me and mentoring me on this fabulous journey of mine. I'm talking about family today, and I speak about the value that my mother has added to my life, the value that she has added to my life, and I also have to say that the value that she added in my life has been phenomenal. And the value that my father added to my life has been phenomenal as well, but not in the sense that you may think. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. My mother raised 3 sons by herself in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, in Bed-Stuy, what we call do or die Bed-Stuy. It's one of the reasons why I go by the verbs I can, I will, and I must, because that's an environment where you have to do or you will die. And I've been exposed to some things in my life that, people say, I would love to walk in your footsteps. And I say, you know what? You might not have made it if you walked in my footsteps. So don't ever say, I wish I walked in somebody else's footsteps based on how it looks from the outside, because you don't know what that person has been through and what they have dealt with to get to where they are. My father was not a very engaged father. I knew who my father was, but he wasn't very present in my life. Having 3 brothers involved in sports and all kinds of community activities, and not having your dad show up to those events, it could be very traumatizing for a young African-American male growing up in the hood, And when I really began to establish a relationship with my father, I was already an adult. And unfortunately, my father's background, he was born and raised in the country and moved to the city. And one of the things that I got exposed to with my dad was I probably was 13 years old. I remember smoking my first joint with my father at 13 years old on my birthday. As things progressed and I found myself seeking what it meant to be a man in society, not having your dad there to mentor you and to coach you and to teach you the things about healthy manhood. So I found myself caught up in a number of unhealthy and toxic relationships, trying to find out what it meant to be a family man, that connection. I always looked for that family connection, wanted the 2-parent household, wanted all those things that I saw at other kids, that I saw on television where they said, this is what the perfect family looks like. That's what I was seeking, but had no idea about how to go about doing that. Fast forward a little bit later on, when I was a young adult, I remember being introduced to hanging out with my dad and his friends, being introduced to crack cocaine. Now you figure, okay, this is your dad is supposed to be your dad, and he shouldn't be, entertaining you or introducing you to those kind of things. But this was his way of probably connecting with me as an adult, since the connection wasn't there when I was a young man. So crack cocaine, 2 years later, I found myself in a drug rehab program for 18 months, recovering from crack cocaine, and it was tough. It was tough on him. It was tough on the family. And I remember after I graduated from the program, I was probably 5 years into my sobriety. And I was in my father's kitchen and we were having a conversation. And I remember him walking up to me and giving me a kiss on my forehead and telling me that he loved me. And at that moment, you know, I'm an adult. I'm just like, what is going on here? We didn't say anything else. He just kissed me on my forehead and said, "I love you, son." That was the first time that I ever heard my father tell me that he loved me. It was the first time that he ever put his lips on my face. And at that moment, it seemed like everything that we had been through up until that point was just like a monkey was off my back. It was the validation that I was looking for. I had been looking for all my life as a young man. And we didn't say much after that. We continued doing what we were doing. And 3 months later, my father passed away. And we didn't know he was sick. He passed away, cardiovascular disease. But, you know, I say that because that was the first and the last kiss, is what I call it. First and last kiss. And when I started in this business of speaking, this was one of the reasons why I got into this business, is because I said that I would never do to my children what my father did to me. So I vowed to break this cycle, you know, for myself, for young people, for young men that I was going to be working with down the line. And it was a sense of release. It was a freedom, the first and the last kiss. And I held him hostage for a very long time, not forgiving. Why did he do what he did? And I realized, going back over time, looking at his history and his father, who his father was, I realized that my father wasn't raised by his father. He was raised by his brother, his oldest brother. So he didn't have he had a father figure, but he was raised by his brother. And he had a 8th grade education. So as I was speaking at conferences and in the community, each time I would speak, it was like a form of healing for me, even though I was also sharing my message. And I had to forgive him and let him go and let that go, because it was holding me back as a man. And it was important for me to break those cycles. So when my sons were born, from the moment that my sons came out the womb, I made sure that I kissed them and I hugged them and I told them every single day that I loved them. And they didn't like it, of course. You know, they didn't like me kissing and hugging on them. But when they got older, I would realize when they would greet me, they started doing the same thing. They would greet me, kiss me, and hug me. My oldest son, when he had his son, I watch him very closely and I see him doing the same things that I did to him, to his son. So I feel like, okay, you broke this cycle. You went through a painful situation. You know, you found a reward in it. You turned that pain into a purpose. And this is what really drove me to getting into the work that I'm doing now around responsible fatherhood and fatherhood engagement. You know, society, the system has dismantled our families and have removed the man from the household and caused this disconnect. And men, what we're trying to do now is trying to find our way back into the family foundation. And we never know what our legacy is going to be. You know, I had no idea that this would be the work that I would be doing because of what I went through. So speaking to young men and the value of fatherhood and healthy masculinity in the family foundation, it can't be overemphasized in society where the role of fathers and unhealthy men, I mean, it's underrated. And we're trying to shine a light on fatherhood, because ultimately family prosperity is It's about creating a life for, for our families, strengthening our families. And you can't talk about family prosperity without including fathers in that discussion. Family is not an important thing, it's everything. The love of family and the admiration of friends is much more important than wealth and privilege. That's all we have in the end. So, I talk to young men about, don't be afraid of your legacy. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to what other people say based on what you've been through. Their opinions mean nothing. Your opinion of yourself means everything. Don't be afraid of who you are becoming and learning from your experiences. So, when we're talking about strengthening family connections, and I share that story because this is one of the things that we have to remind young men and families about working together and strengthening our families. It's making time for each other, having those tough conversations with each other, listening to each other, because we all have gifts, God-given gifts. And you never know what your gift is going to be until you tap into it. So having those conversations with your family is very important. Practicing active listening. Practicing active listening, good communication, and make an effort to actively listen to everyone in your family, because everyone has something that they are bringing to the table. Everybody has something that they are offering to the family that can be beneficial. We don't all have to have the same thing. Our parents think, say, well, this is the family legacy. These are the things that I expect. But we also have to remember that we are individuals as well, and we're going to have experiences that really shape who we are. And we have to be able to recognize those things. And how we recognize those things is through prayer and meditation. We need to celebrate each other. We need to show appreciation for each other. Now is the time. Too many of us are walking around like we have all the time in the world. We don't. We have to forgive. We have to move forward. We must learn from our lessons. We don't know what tomorrow is going to hold with our family and with our friends. So it's very important to be able to forgive, to be able to forgive yourself. Freeing my father up, not holding him hostage, did more for me in my life, in my career, than I could have ever imagined. It was holding me back. I had to release him. I had to let him go. There's no excuse because you are not raised by your father. Your father's not there. He's not engaged. That doesn't give you the right to go out there and act a fool. Okay? It doesn't. You're responsible for yourself. You have to be accountable. You can't keep blaming people for why things happen. These are the cards you were dealt. Play those cards. Play them the best way that you can, the best way you know how. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And you got to know when to just shut it down and walk away. So my message is to focus on what's important to you. Family is important to you. You make an effort to do whatever you can to make sure your family stays strong and it stays united. And we know that's a tough job to do, but you have to do your part. You have to model healthy behavior to your family, to your children, in order for them to see it. If they don't see it, why are they gonna believe what you are telling them? They have to see it, they have to believe it. So my mission is to model healthy masculinity to men, to women as well, because women need to see that as well. So when they make those choices about the men they want to bring in their lives to have a family with, they need to know what a healthy male looks like as opposed to a toxic male. But everybody has a story, and we can constantly rewrite our stories, but first of all, you have to be aware of who you are and your purpose. I reach out to young men, I mentor young men, and it's a drive and it's a passion. Brother Robert said, find out what you would do that you wouldn't get paid for. This is it right here. I'm being rewarded every day by touching young men, impacting their lives, and is also helping me to fulfill my God-given purpose and destiny. So I would just like to end with saying thank you. And this has just been an amazing journey, Brother Roberts and this platform. And it's an important message that is not talked about enough. And by creating this platform, we're going to get this message out there. We need men to reestablish themselves in the family foundation so they can show up and be present in the lives of their children, in the lives of their women.
Heartfelt. I have 5 sons. I have 5 boys, and the first and last kiss was powerful. I hug my boys all the time. I kiss them all the time and let them know how much I love them. And paying into a purpose was the biggest takeaway, for me, especially our situation, our family, the legacy that we are leaving, and that I want them to leave. And as something you said is the value of fatherhood, and don't be afraid of your legacy. And that was powerful.
And what I really heard from him is, lead by example. The very essence of what he did was what he didn't receive. And he saw the reflection in it, even though his kids didn't want it, even the boys was trying to reject it. Today, they do it. They following dad's example. I don't think they were ready for today, fam. You think they was ready, Terrence?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I thought it was going to be some regular.
I don't think the folks was ready, man. They probably just thought they were just coming to another little old event. No, we setting the standard, guys. We phenomenal in the house. We came to execute today, right? That's what we came to do. And I think the team has done a phenomenal job. So here we go. We're getting ready to bring in our last speaker for today. So sit tight, guys. I want to bring to the stage my man, Jay Chase. Don't touch my mindset. Chase is a dynamic speaker, man. He's a host of the top-rated podcast, Don't Touch My Mindset. International leadership development expert. My man, I got to admit, man, Jay is passionate for helping those in active recovery to manage their destruction, emotions, and habits.
Most of y'all are here because you'll learn how to express better, learn how to communicate better, self-love, self-acceptance, want to get over roadblocks. My job here is to help you identify that today. We're going to identify that. We're going to identify and move past it. I told you a little bit about me. I'm an alcoholic. I drank. I doubted myself a lot. I'm still doubting myself right now. I can't believe I'm right here. Y'all looking at me like I got something to say. I'm like, yo, help. Help me, dog. The very first keynote I did. And now I'm an international leadership development coach. Now I've given keynotes in the UK. I've given keynotes in Canada. I've done a bunch of in-person stuff like that. That was the very first keynote I did. So I want to talk to you about your relationship with your future self, right? So one, I didn't have much of a relationship with my future self. Not when I was going to jail, not when I was getting arrested. Like I said, I was an alcoholic. I was running the streets, and I'm privileged to be around some great men today. And one, when Dwayne said, "Hey man, I got you going last," I said, "All right, okay. I don't know how we'll follow up on this, but hey, this is exactly where we are supposed to be. And when you're in the right place at the right time around the right people, the right things happen. I promise you that. So I want you to take this study that I did some research for this one. I came across a study that was done in the UK that they actually monitored people and their brain waves, right? And they asked them a question. They said, think of yourself in the past. And one side of their brain lit up. And they said, think about a stranger. And the other side of their brain lit up. And they said, think about yourself in the future. And the same side of the brain that lit up was the same side that the stranger lit up on. And at the conclusion of the study is that 83% of people don't have a relationship with their future self, right? And I love what Brother Jonas did, and it had us visualize that next level of success for us, right? I want to talk about, what does that person look like? Who is that person? What kind of relationship do you have with that person? And what are the emotions and habits that that person displays that we don't have today? Because that's called development. That's what I do. That's what I do. I help people develop into the best version of them, right? I'm obsessed with personal growth. My top 3 values are connection, growth, and integrity. I promise you, I lead from the heart, and I want to connect with every single person around me. It's just who I am. It's my personality style, and I value growth. I value growth. When I look at a win or I look at an opportunity for loss, I was helping a client, and they said, Jay, you know, the struggle continues every day. I said, no, the opportunity for growth arises every day, right? It's our perspective of how we look at it and who we're going to, right? Your growth stops when the tension between who you are and who you're becoming lessens, not the tension of who you are and who you were. We're not worried about that tension anymore. We know where we are. Now we said we got to get to that next level of success. So like I said, I'm a leadership development coach, and I help emerging leaders achieve, maintain, and grow. If you look up the definition of success is to aim and achieve. So I help leaders aim, achieve, maintain, and repeat at higher levels. So that means be successful. And in order to do that, we have to create a relationship with our future self. So my first challenge to you is think about who you are in 10 years. I believe in 2 timelines. 10 years and 90 days. I live my life in 90-day increments. Every 90 days, I should be doing something that takes me towards the person that I want to be in 10 years, right? So write that down. Who do I want to be in 10 years, right? And then think about who you are today and what habits does that person have that I don't have today, right? And I want to tell you guys a story of why I got to the place of where I am now, of being a speaker, coach, sobriety coach, all the things, whatever. But for 9.5 years, I spent my life in the car business. And people would say, Jay, the car business, you're a speaker, you help people, you give. I'm almost the opposite of a salesperson. But the thing is, I was obsessed with adding value to people. And that's what made me a great salesperson. And so my managers and my higher ups and the owner of the company saw this, and Jay was excelling, and he was selling 20 cars a month. And, you know, just coming back from out of prison and being sober, Jay was making 6 figures in his first year. Wow. Hey, Jay, I think we're going to make you a finance manager. I said, cool. Now, you know, the game's a little different on the other side of the desk. I said, okay, cool. Are we still able to help people? Absolutely. But we're more worried about the money we're making. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to make more money. And so I went through another year of selling cars, and this was probably my 8th year in selling cars. We're doing good. And the time comes, Jay, we're sending you down to Texas to become a finance manager and get to the training. So my first question to you is, I'm going to ask you this before I go into this, is make sure your dream or your future self is who you want it to be, okay? And not somebody else. And the reason I say that is because at the time, I thought that future Jay was going to be a finance manager. I thought future Jay wanted to make a lot of money, build his first house, and provide for his family and work at the lot and open his own car dealership. I thought that was Jay's dream. And so the time comes for me to go to Texas and become a finance manager. It snows in Columbia, Missouri. 9.5 inches. We got a little regional airport. It's snowing. I'm like, all right, cool. We gonna fly out. I just got to go to Texas. It's an hour flight. It's an hour flight from Columbia, Missouri to Dallas, Texas, where I'd be training at. The layover was 7.5 hours. The layover was 7.5 hours. And I tell you this story because it comes to my one defining point of understanding if your future self is who you want it to be or if it's somebody else. Is if you think about your future self and it doesn't quite fit right, such as a 7.5 layover in an airport with no food and nothing but a vending machine, it don't quite fit right and you just sitting. I still got to Texas. I still did the training. 3 people showed up out of a class of 15. They had the biggest snowstorm. You remember when Texas got shut down with all that ice? I was there trying to become a finance manager. That's not quite fitting right. You know what I mean? So, and so when you know it's your dream, it would feel just right. Now, in October of 2022, I made a trip up to Michigan, and I made a 3-day trip up there to become an extreme execution coach. And when I was driving up there, that's a 9-hour drive. Oh boy, did that feel right. When I was driving up there, I'm happy, music blaring, I'm good. I'm stopping wherever I want to eat, whatever I want to eat. Boy, that felt good. You know what I mean? And so I get to Michigan, I stay there. I mean, it's perfect. Weather's perfect. It's 65 in Michigan. It's October. It's orange. You know what it looks like in Lansing at that time of the year? Beautiful, right? I get to meet E.T., biggest inspirator. I get trained by Moose. Brandon lives right up the street from me in Columbia, Missouri. So we get to develop it feels just right. So if your dream is your dream and your future version is you, it's going to feel just right versus a 7-hour layover, right? If your dream is somebody else's or your future you is somebody else's version of you, it's gonna feel like a weight on your shoulders. It's gonna feel like you carrying a burden, right? Every time you wake up, every time you go to that place, every time you start putting into that action and the work that you're doing, it's gonna feel like a burden. And that's not the hustle. Let me tell you, that's not the hustle. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's gonna provide wings to your spirit. It's gonna provide wings to your spirit. It's gonna carry you every single day. If you're doing what somebody else thinks that you should be doing and your version of you is not what you think it is, it's gonna drain you every single time you show up. And I'm just giving you the identifiers here. Is that it's gonna drain you every time that you show up. But if that version is you, guess it's gonna energize you. Right? It's probably gonna fire you up. And this is what I tell you, because so many people say, oh, I need work-life balance. Oh, I can't have burnout. That ain't the truth. That there ain't no such thing. I promise you that, right? I promise you that, because everything that I do, it energizes me, it fuels me, because it's my dream. I'm being who I'm supposed to be in the future in 10 years. I'm doing that, and I'm taking those steps, and I'm living in purpose, right? Burnout is not doing too much of something. It's doing any amount of the wrong thing. Stay in who you are, right? If the future version of you is putting you to sleep at night because you're tired, that's probably not the future you. Future you probably keeps you up at night. Well, I couldn't stop thinking about y'all last night. I was writing keynotes. I was going over. No, I want to tell you this. No, I want to tell. No, future you probably going to keep you up at night. But their future you is probably going to put you to sleep at night. Right? And their future you will put you outside of your strength zone. Right? Your future you should put you outside of your comfort zone. Let me say that again. Their future you will take you outside of your strength zone. Hey, Jay, we want to put you at a desk. We want to put you in a tie. We want to sit there and have you punch numbers all day and push paper, but you're going to make a lot of money. That's outside my strength zone. Hey, Jay, I need you to go speak to 140 kids out in Arizona that are in the youth detention center. Now, that's outside my comfort zone. And lastly, I want you to think about, to see the identifiers if future me is them or future me is me is, do you feel like you got to make yourself do it? Whatever it may be, do you get up and you feel like you got to make yourself do it? Because I know when I'm walking in future me, I wake up and I'm made to do this. Right? And I'm self-motivated for that. Don't nobody got to wake me up for that. I know that if I become future me, so many people benefit other than just me. But if I'm their version of me, only they benefit. Come on now. Come on now. So I'm gonna give y'all the practical. I'm gonna give y'all the principles. I'm a principle dude. That's why I shared the personable story. I'm about growth. Look here. Here's the video of the story. You know what I mean. But I'm about growth. So I'm gonna give y'all the steps. Right. Step number 1: be willing to bet on yourself. Be willing to bet on yourself against all odds. Driving back from Michigan, boy, it felt just right. It provided wings to my spirit. I'm listening to the music. I'm fired up, right? I'm staying up. I drove straight back. I'm telling it's man. I'm so uncomfortable because I said, God told me to quit my job. I'm so uncomfortable, but I know I got this. I'm made for this. We got this. Because I'm stepping into future me. You see the difference there, right? Because you may succeed if no one believes in you. But if you don't believe in you, you will never succeed. Be willing to bet on yourself. Number two, in order to get to your future self, be willing to lead your life versus accept your life, right? I had a choice to make when I got out of prison in 2017, right? I could go hang around the same people in the same environments in the same places that I always went, or I could hit them with a change up. And I did. And I invited my father. You know, Mr. Meeks, your whole presentation hit so well because family is everything. And I had a conversation with my father when I got out of prison. I said, Dad, I forgive you for beating Mom. I forgive you for beating Carlita. I forgive you for beating Tisa. I forgive you for beating Crystal. I forgive you for beating Sam. I forgive you for beating me, Dad. I forgive you. I just want a relationship with you. That's it. I've let that go. We can grow and we can be better from this point on. My dad looked at me in my eyes. He said, you're a better man than I'll ever be. I can't do that. I realized we got a choice when it comes to our future. We can either operate from our past pain or our future self-power. We can either operate from imagination or we can operate from ego. We can put God's vision over everything in our life, or we can fold to our own vision of our life. We have to tell ourselves over everything it's God's will. And I have the tenacity to fulfill the future version of me that I wanted to be. My father didn't have it. I understand. Little did I know 2 years later he was going to pass away. How I wanted those sobriety years with him. I don't hold him for that. I don't hate him for that. Like I said, I forgive you, Pops. But he accepted his life. And I was willing to lead my life. Right? Number 3, love what you do and do what you love. Little equation for you. Talent without passion equals potential without possibility. Talent without passion equals potential without possibility. When I was selling cars, I had a whole lot of talent, no passion. People said, Jay, how do I change your oil? I said, bro, I don't know nothing about a car. I like people. That's why I sell cars. I had a whole lot of talent, no passion. But when you put passion with talent, you got all the potential and possibilities in the world, right? Right? So I want to tell you, step number 4, when we align ourselves with our future selves, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Look, I want to leave you with this. I think I'm running out of time. I don't know. Mr. Meach, you got to let me know. But I love y'all, and I want to pour into y'all, and I want, God will help you be everything that you can be, but he will not help you be somebody else. When you stop comparing your dream and you start empowering your dream, you start aligning the dream. All right? So don't worry about what he, she, them, they are doing. Empower your dream. Believe in your dream when nobody else understands your dream. That's going to get you to your future self, right? Be willing to bet on yourself. Lead your life. Love what you do what you love, and empower your dream versus compare your dream. And make sure you identify where you are now and where you want to be. Thank you. My name is Jay Chase. This was just a pleasure.
I don't know where to start. Incredible, man. I mean, there's just so many things. But be willing to bet on yourself, lead your life, do what you love. The most important thing is, and you were talking about passion and talent, right? Because life is based on potential. I mean, life is based on performance, not potential. You know, so everything that you do is the performing part of it, not the potential of what you can be. You know, and so it's beautiful. The anointing is there. Everything is there. Powerful. I have so many things here. I mean, the aim to achieve your future keeps you up at night. Everything that you said is all about the vision and all about the dream. For so many people, they are asleep in the dream that they don't wake up and walk in the anointing of the vision of clarity that God has given you to walk in. So I feel everything. I see you, you know, and I see it. You know, everything that you that you said, I see it because it was visualized, and the passion is there. Don't compare yourself to anybody, because there's no comparison. There's no comparison to what you do, to what Jay do, to D, everybody. There's no comparison to Tansy. There's no comparison because God made you who you are. So how can you be anybody else? How can we be anybody else? So it's just, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it's just the wings, man, the wings of the spirit. So everything that the wings are carrying you now, right? And so we always talk about a balance. There's no such thing as a balance at all. Where the focus is where the focus needs to be, right? And we talk about this thing and the diamond in the rough. You know what a diamond is? I'm laser focused because I'm diamond cut. So everything that you go through in life just sharpens you to shine. So it's a wonderful opportunity to see this and to hear it. Powerful, very, very impressive, very impressive. And Jonas, I'm telling you, where you are right now is incredible. Tangi, I got a chance to hear it. Meeks, it's powerful. It's powerful. You know, this is the beginning of something. You know, and the thing that we have to realize is everything that we're doing right now, we already did. God has already showed us this. We're walking into that. So you're walking into the person that you're supposed to be. So this is already done. This is already done.
A whole bunch. I appreciate it. I'm over here. I'm putting my head down. I'm going to class, right? Because I believe this, right? I am a student of life, right? So if I'm a student of life, when someone is teaching, let me listen, right? They gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so I could listen more than I could talk. So when he said their future you will put you out of your strength zone, and your future you will put you outside of your comfort zone, that hit, right? There's been moments in my life where I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I know it don't feel right. I know it don't feel right what you want me to do, because you over here want me to be what you want me to be, but not me being what I need to be, right? And so, but being in that uncomfort, right? Like he said, man, I drove for 8 hours, 9 hours. Let me not take away that hour, right, Jake? You drove 9 hours to go get what it is that you wanted to do for your future self. And I remember those days. I remember when I get up at 2:45 in the morning to write my book, to go run, right? And everyone's like, you crazy, Jonas. I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock to get up at 2:45. You know what I mean? Because I see that future self.
Responsible for your life. No one else is responsible for it but you. You got one opportunity to do this thing the right way. You can't, there's no second chances, there's no reset button, no do-overs. So, you know, it's not where you start, it's how you finish.
I just want to ask this question. How many of you are in the 83% range where you just don't have a picture of your future? You don't know where you want to go. You don't know what to do next. Listen, man, today we came to cut you so you can shine like the diamond that you are. We wanted to identify areas in your life that you may be challenged, whether that was in your future, whether that was with your family, whether that was your friends, whether that had to do with your fitness. What area in your life do you need more clarity in? I want you to think about that as we get ready to close this thing.
We just want to give you all the opportunity, Rodney. Just thank you for this opportunity for us to get together and just to hear your word. We give you all the praise and glory for everything that you're doing in our lives. And as we just continue to decrease in you, increase in us. All of these words and this inspiration, it comes from you. So we ask right now that we know we don't know what to pray for, but we know everything is in you. And so this vision of perfection that we hope for is in you. This vision of life that we hope for is in you. Everything that we hope for, we want, and we claim is in you. So as we move forward in our day and in our life, that we continue to be inspirations to those people that we come in contact with. And so they don't see us, that they see you. And we give you all the praise and all the glory as we continue to be ambassadors of the word. And the word comes from hearing, and hearing is the things that we need to do for the faith. And we give you all the praise and glory today and forever. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Thank you.
Amen. Guys,
Amen,
thank you for come rocking with us on the Next Level Success Summit. Tangi, go ahead, take us out.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Little good vibes on your way. Enjoy your Saturday. I don't know what it's like on your side, but hey, you're alive, so it's still beautiful anyway. Hey, Next Level Summit. Tell a friend, bring a friend next time.
Like I don't care, baby, by the way.